The Carolina Panthers were a very interesting team heading into this year. They were clearly building something very special on both sides of the ball. However, the quarterback position was very uncertain for them, and we did not know how good their QB play would be heading into this year. But so far, their quarterback play, it has been very good, and so far the Panthers have been an excellent team. And I gotta say, after this 3-0 start, I think it's pretty safe to say that the Carolina Panthers are a pretty legit team. So before this video does get started, I do want to say go ahead and check out my podcast if you guys haven't already. The link to it is in the description below, and I do want to try and grow that thing, so it would mean a lot to me if you guys could go ahead and check it out. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get this video started. So Sam Darnold, obviously, he was a very big wild card heading into the season because he was not very good with the New York Jets, but at the same time, he was definitely held back by terrible supporting cast and terrible coaching he had in New York. And we all knew that Carolina's fate all came down to Sam Darnold. Personally, I thought Sam Darnold would be solid. Wouldn't be amazing, but I thought he would be pretty good. Somewhere in the ballpark of like 30.8k passing yards and 29 passing touchdowns and like 12 interceptions, and I thought he would be okay. Like, I thought he could be pretty good, but he would definitely still kind of struggle with turnovers. And I thought the Panthers would win 7 games, but I definitely thought they could have won more. And I mean, Sam Darnold, again, he has been very good so far, tossing 888 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns to go along with 1 interception, but overall, he's been pretty good. And right now, the Panthers have looked awesome so far, and honestly, if I could redo my predictions right now, I would definitely have them in the playoffs, and I definitely would have had them winning more than 7 games. I mean, talking about this team on both sides of the ball, let's go over the offense first. And obviously, we got to start out with Christian McCaffrey. All right, now he will be out for a few weeks, but I think we all know how good he is when he's healthy. When he comes back, I think he will continue to light up NFL defenses. And overall, Christian McCaffrey, amazing player. And I mean, I don't really have to say much else for Christian McCaffrey besides he's a great player. The wide receiving core, obviously, we all know how good this is. DJ Moore, he's had a fantastic start to the season, and alright, sorry about that, but as I was saying before, DJ Moore, he's had a fantastic start to the season. I think we all know how good DJ Moore is, and I mean, at this pace, he might make his name into being a top 10 receiver, by the end of the year. And then you got Robbie Anderson, and he is one of the best number 2 wide receivers in the NFL. Fantastic deep threat, and I mean, hey, he used to be teammates with Sam Darnold when both of them were on the New York Jets, so that's pretty nice. I mean, overall, Robbie Anderson, very good player. Plus, they have Terrace Marshall Jr., and he's had a solid start to the year. And Terrace Marshall Jr., he was one of my favorite prospects heading in the 2021 NFL draft. And I gotta say, I absolutely love Terrace Marshall Jr., and I'm rooting for, him to, really just break out on the Panthers and really just be a stud. Because, I mean, I think he's a future star. And I mean, playing next to DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, while it probably does take away some targets, I think Terrace Marshall Jr., again, I think he's going to be a future star. I mean, overall, I mean, this wide receiving core, it is loaded. It's stacked, to put it simply. I mean, Sam Darnold, he couldn't have asked for more weapons. Christian McCaffrey and that wide receiver trio, I mean, simply put, it's downright scary, man. I mean, the offensive line, not among the best, like the Browns and the Patriots and the Colts and all, but still, it's a pretty decent offensive line, and compared to what he had with the Jets, I mean, I think I can guarantee you that Sam Darnold would take that offensive line over the one he had in New York. And I mean, this offense, I think we all know how good it is, and frankly, I don't think any of us are that surprised that it's been like a pretty stout unit. Now, I mean, if Sam Darnold, played bad, then it probably wouldn't be this stout, but I mean, overall, this offense, it's very good. I don't think we really have to say much for this Carolina Panthers offense. The defense, they've been a massive surprise so far this year, and I gotta say, I did not expect them to be this good. I really did not, and they've been a super pleasant surprise for the Carolina Panthers. I mean, obviously, they've looked amazing so far, to put it simply. They've ranked 2nd in pass defense, 1st in run defense, 2nd in scoring defense, and 3rd overall as a unit. That's just elite, and simply put, they have been fantastic defensively. The Panthers defense, they showed flashes of what they could be defensively, but damn, have they really shown out in these first few weeks. The front 7, it's been dominant, to put it quite simply. Hassan Reddick, who they added in free agency, has made his doubters who thought he was a one-hit wonder look like idiots. He's been very good so far. Brian Burns, he's looked like a top 5 edge rusher so far, and Brian Burns, I mean, at this rate, he might be an all-pro, you know, by the end of this season. I mean, after the season is done, when I do my top 10 edge rushers list, Brian Burns, he's no doubt going to be higher on my list than number 10, which he was last year. Spoiler alert, I guess. But Brian Burns and Hassan Reddick, they both have been amazing. Derrick Brown, he's a stud, and I think he will break out this season. I mean, Derrick Brown, he's a very solid player. Plus, Shaq Thompson, he's had an amazing start to the season. I mean, he was great in that Jets game, and overall, Shaq Thompson, he's been pretty good so far. Now, I don't know if he does keep up this level of play, but Shaq Thompson, he's been pretty good, and you really like to see it. Plus, the secondary, I mean, they also got notable players as well. J.C. Horn, unfortunately, he got injured, and he is going to be missing most of the year. But this dude, he was balling before he got hurt, and I think he's going to be a star, and I gotta say, it's pretty sad that, you know, he is injured, but I mean, J.C. Horn, he has a lot of potential, and overall, I think J.C. Horn has a bright future. Plus, you got Dante Jackson, and he hasn't had an amazing start to the year, but he's very underrated, and I think he will be a really good sidekick next to J.C. Horn, and I think Dante Jackson will pick things up, because Dante Jackson, he's a very good player. Plus, we can't forget about Jeremy Chin either, and he's one of the best young defensive players in the league. I mean, last year, I mean, he was one of the top defensive rookie of the year candidates, and I think we all know how good Jeremy Chin is. They also did just add CJ Henderson in a trade, in which they absolutely robbed the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he just adds to their collection of young talent. CJ Henderson, he has a lot of upside, and having a great front seven should really help him out. And honestly, I think CJ Henderson, I mean, if he develops into the player I think a lot of us think he can be, then, well, that Panthers defense, holy sh**, it is going to be scary. And right now, the Panthers, they're 3-0 in first in the NFC South, which is something I don't think that's something I didn't think I'd be saying, you know, at this point in the season. I know that we're very early, but still, I did not think I'd be saying this, alright? Many people, I know a lot of them are going to say, oh, they're Mickey Mouse frauds. They're playing, like, they have a Mickey Mouse schedule. They've had a Mickey Mouse start. Well, I don't know. I know there's going to be trolls like that, and a lot of people say that they've been carried by an easy schedule. And while it's fair to say that the Jets and Texans aren't super big wins, the Saints won. I think that is a pretty big win, and I think that should inspire confidence for Panthers fans and people in general, since New Orleans, I think they are a very good team. That should really inspire, you know, confidence in Panthers fans, you know, about their hopes of, you know, being able to beat, like, good teams, not just bad teams. And the Panthers, they are definitely going to be, you know, tested against some of the better teams on their schedule, and it will be interesting to see how they do fare against those teams. But one good thing about Carolina is that they have a really easy schedule, which means they should be able to get into the playoffs. And as long as they don't, you know, I know the upsets are going to happen every year, but let's say they just have one upset, that would be awesome. If they can win, like, almost all of those, you know, easy games, that would be so big for them, because, I mean, they don't have, you know, that obviously add to their win total, and I mean, that's just going to increase their chances of making it to the playoffs. I mean, honestly, they should be able to get into the playoffs given how easy their schedule is, and if they continue to play at a, you know, somewhat like this, then yeah, they're definitely going to make it to the playoffs. Now, as for whether they win the division, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, because I mean, the Buccaneers, even though they have had a somewhat rough start. Alright, sorry about that. More technical difficulties. But as I was saying before, I mean, the Buccaneers, they've struggled out of the gate a little bit. I'll admit that. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think we all know how good of a team they are. But if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were to, you know, start out 2-2, and let's say they were to really kind of struggle out of the gate and really just fall victim to the Super Bowl hangover, and the Panthers were to continue to, like, steamroll opponents and, you know, really just play at, you know, like this, then the Panthers honestly might win the NFC South. Now, I still think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are kind of the favorites to win it, and honestly, they are still my pick to win it, but honestly, I wouldn't be super shocked if the Carolina Panthers were to win it, given how good they've been in these first few weeks. And I gotta say, man, the Carolina Panthers, I know they have had, some easy teams like the Texans and the Jets. However, that Saints win, it does inspire confidence in me. And personally, I think the Panthers, they're going to be very good this year. I think Sam Darnold is going to be pretty good this year. Maybe not MVP good, but I think he will be very good. That defense, they're going to be very good this year. That offense, they're going to be very good this year. And overall, the Panthers, I think they're going to be great. And I mean, if they don't make the playoffs at the very least, at this rate, then it's going to be a pretty disappointing season. But hey, man, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. With that being said, that will wrap up today's video. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button as it really helps out the channel. And also make sure to subscribe if you guys are new and enjoy this type of content so you don't miss out on any new videos like this. Plus, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and once we hit our goal, I am finally going to do a face reveal. But with that being said, I'm out, you guys.